Hi, friends. We're Paul and Virginia Friesen, and we're honored to have been asked to share just a few thoughts about marriage. In fact, this Friday, we celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. And it has not been perfect by any means, but we have found that God has been so faithful to us over the last 50 years, and we have found incredible joy in seeking to follow God in His design for marriage.
Well, it helps that we got married when we were 10, so we've grown up together. No, not really, but it is very, very much true that we've loved being married, and we really feel that God's design for marriage is something that we can fully embrace with confidence that because He is the designer, He is the definer, and He is the one who will instruct us on how to be married well.
As we have lived our lives together as husband and wife, and as we have counseled countless couples, one of the things we found is that when we don't make our highest goal marriage, but we make it one thing different than marriage, it actually affects our marriage. And that one thing is to have our highest goal in glorifying God, in being Christ-like in our marriage. And when we make our highest goal glorifying Christ, it affects every aspect of our marriage.
Yeah, I remember when we were dreaming about getting married back in 1975. We got engaged in December of that year. We got married in April of 1976. We had a lot of expectations about marriage, and I think there were a lot of them that were really good expectations. We were both raised in Christian homes. We both had hearts for the Lord. And to be really honest with you, I don't think that we thought there would be anything that would cause us pause or raise up any real disagreements or places that we just didn't really land in the same place. And that is true in all of the big issues of life. But what we didn't realize was that there are a lot of little issues that are related to our temperaments and our life passions, our life experience, our families of origin that all come into play as we walk out marriage. One of our very early expectations was because, again, we were privileged to have been raised in a Christian homes that had high value on the authority of Scripture. We both had made the decision to be sexually pure, and so it was probably a month before we got married that we were talking about the impending opening of this gift from the Lord. And Paul has forgotten many things that I've said through the years, but he has a clear memory of me making the statement. Can you even imagine us being able to work after we get married? I mean, won't we be making love all the time?
Well, we've gotten a lot of work done. So some expectations are not quite realized. But, one of the expectations and dreams and desires we had was that we would not sacrifice either our marriage or our children on the altar of ministry or any other career pursuits that we might have. And it's so easy to get distracted and to miss God's highest goal for us in our marriage.
Yeah, which is really to glorify him. And in glorifying him, we will honor our mate, we will honor our children. And having been in ministry for our entire marriage, we will tell you that we have seen so many of our colleagues and peers who have been distracted by the demands of ministry or professional pursuits, that they've sort of lost their marriage or their children, either through divorce or just through estrangement. And they have a siloized marriage, if you will. And so God has been very gracious to us to protect us from sacrificing our children on the altar of either marriage or ministry. And by his grace, all three of our adult daughters are following Jesus. The two that are married have married wonderfully godly men, and all three of our children are in ministry. So he has blessed us richly.
Virginia talked about some expectations that we have. And one of the things was that we're so similar, we would not have any hiccups, but we really are different in so many ways. And 50 years later, some of those ways are still true. Virginia's a person of order. I am not.
I believe everything in a home has a home and it should be in that home unless you're using it and you put it back to its home. And to me, that's just as natural as breathing. And it's actually the way God intended it. But I soon found out after we got married and began living together that I'm married to somebody who believes everything is homeless and wherever he last used it is its new temporary home. And it actually should be there when he goes to find it, but it isn't because I've put it where it goes. So we have had these places where our temperaments have just been so, so very different. I'm energized by being with people. Paul is drained by being with people. So that's kind of a major difference for us. I'm much more of a planner. I sort of like to know how things are going to happen. Paul is pretty much by the seat of his pants. So those differences in the hands of the enemy will divide us and cause us to be on a relentless pursuit to change our mate into our image. And we would like to save you the time and say that really that isn't God's intent for us at all. Our goal, our desire, our drive in life is to become more like him, not to make him more like me.
You know, it's interesting. 50 years later, I am still a bit of a messy guy. I'm still an introvert. I'm still the visionary, not the detail person. But the difference, I think, that has happened for us as we have grown in our relationship with each other and with the Lord is that we've grown to respect those differences and to treat each other in a Christ-like manner. Not like, why do you think like that? But that's interesting. I've never thought of it that way. Tell me more. And that has made a world of difference.
And so, as our hearts have been to grow in Christ likeness, it just continues to help our marriage work well. It doesn't mean that we think exactly the same, we have the same ideas, but all of those differences in the hands of the enemy will divide us, but in the hands of the Lord will actually make us better. And we will both say to you that our life together has produced so much more than it ever could have if we had not married each other.
You know, marriage is under attack today. It's not a secret that the enemy wants to take down marriages. And we just need to remember that he is the enemy. We're not the enemy. And we need to work together as a couple to fight the enemy. And as we do that, I think we're not going to only find that we have a better marriage, but it's also a witness to people that are looking at our marriages and wondering, does Christ make a difference? And what a privilege for us to have people ask us, now, why is your marriage like it is? It seems like you guys still love each other after so many years of marriage. And then you can point to the one who is a designer of marriage, the creator of marriage, and the one who has really given us the power to live according to his design.
We're just so thankful that the pastor here at Calvary Chapel, Lincoln City, is so committed to building into marriages and families, having that be an emphasis of the church. We will tell you that it is one of the most natural tools of evangelism we have when people can observe that Jesus actually makes a difference in our marriage. And that's a really good difference.
So may God bless you as you continue to focus on God's design for your marriage. And as you seek to honor him and honor each other, will you delight in him and find greater delight in each other? God bless you all.